Hello folks, welcome to the OceanState Cuisine. In today's video we're going to be showing you a hot dog casserole recipe. This is so delicious and it's very fulfilling and it leaves you very satisfied. And the reason why I'm saying we is because my sister's actually going to be cooking this for us in today's video. And every time I do eat this I always think of my father, because he actually discovered this recipe. And I'd like to tell you guys a little bit of the story behind all this. Now, how this all started was my father, when we lived in Rhode Island, he used to make a trip to Maine every couple of years to go hunting. And on this particular trip, he went along with his brother. And they stayed at a couple's house that lived way out in the middle of the woods in the middle of Maine, in some old shack. It was like an old log cabin. And he said that they pretty much lived like they did back in the 1800s almost. And when he went there, it was probably around 1960. Now, the house that they lived in actually had footprints painted on the floor going out the front door to the outhouse behind the house. And these footprints was painted yellow. And so you would follow the footprints and it would show you where to go to the outhouse. Now, if you're not sure what an outhouse is, it's basically a small building, very small, that just has a toilet in it, which was usually made with a wooden bench that you would sit on with the oval cutout. Because back in the earlier days, or sometimes way out in the sticks like that, they didn't have the proper plumbing yet to put in proper bathrooms. So one morning, when they woke up the next morning, they had eggs for breakfast. And my father was eating the eggs, and he's like, man, something's not right here. These do not taste right. And he whispered to his brother, he goes, do these eggs taste funny to you? And my uncle said, yes, they suck. Come to find out, they feed their chickens fish meal. And the fish meal was making the eggs kind of have a fishy taste. Now, when I say in the middle of the woods, I mean like they were nowhere near restaurants or anything like that. So, a couple of days later, they ended up going to another relative's house. And they also lived in the country, but their house was more modernized. So my father and my uncle, once they got there, they told the couple that they were staying with now that they haven't had a decent meal ever since they've been here. And they happened to tell them about the eggs, the way that they tasted, and all that stuff. And the wife of the couple happened to say, well, I'm making something tonight that's pretty different. I think you're really going to enjoy it. It's a real country type dish, which happens to be this hot dog casserole that we're going to share with you folks today. So let's get started. So the first thing that we have here is a casserole dish. And we're going to line the bottom of this casserole dish with baked beans. My favorite baked beans is from Boston, Massachusetts, called B&M Baked Beans. They are not loaded with tons of sugars and more commercialized like a lot of the baked beans that we have today. So next we are going to fry up some bacon. But we don't need to cook the bacon all the way because it's still going to go in the oven. But we like our bacon really crispy, so this is going to ensure that it's going to come out crispy once it's all done cooking. So now next, my sister is now making a slit going down the lengthways of the hot dog. But she is not cutting through the hot dog through the bottom, and she's not cutting the slit from end to end. So we don't cut the slit all the way across, because what we're doing is that we're going to make a pocket. And if you slit it all the way from end to end, it could cause the cheese later on to leak out when it starts to bake. So in the meantime, you want to preheat your oven 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we use sliced American cheese for our hot dog casserole. Cheddar is also excellent too. Now what she's doing now is that she's folding the cheese and she's making thin sections out of the cheese that she's going to be putting now into the slit that she made in the hot dog. This is the only tedious part of this whole recipe. So now what we normally do is we get our fingertip and we run it down the slot carefully just to open it up a bit. But you don't want to give it too much pressure because you can break the hot dog. So as we see right here, she just putting as much cheese as she possibly can into that opening. And so that one is pretty much done, and now she's going to place it just like this on top of the layer of the baked beans. And we're going to show you guys one more. So again, she's going to carefully insert the cheese into the slit that she made. And I told her you should have put a dish towel underneath the cutting board. It would make it where it's not moving all over the place. But some people just don't listen. But hey, she's doing the cooking right now, so she's the boss. This is the longest part of making this whole dish. Besides this was probably one of the shortest takes that I ever did when it came to a cooking video, because there's not a lot of steps involved in this dish. If you're somebody who likes to make something that's very simple but satisfying, this is definitely a dish worth trying. So now just rinse and repeat doing this until all the hot dogs that you want to cook are stuffed. We recommend about 2 hot dogs per serving. Now there's our bacon, and that's about how much we cooked it right there as we see. Now what we used to do was we used to get the full strip of bacon. We cut our bacon in half in the package. And then we used to get the full strip after it was cooked, and we used to lay it across all the hot dogs. The only problem with this is that when you went to serve 1 or 2 hot dogs, sometimes the bacon would stick to the cheese and pull the cheese out of the hot dogs. So now, as you can see right here, I have a piece that I cut. And that's about the size now that I put on the hot dogs, which I'm going to show you in just a few moments. As we see right here. So now we take these couple of pieces that we have here, and we put them on the hot dog just like this. This is not the healthiest dish, as we see right now. Because what we're going to do now is take the bacon fat and we're going to drizzle it over the top of this casserole. You see where we're going with this? Now, if you are watching your fats, just don't use the bacon drippings. But let me tell you, it adds great flavor to this overall dish. Now it's completed, and in the oven it goes for about 40 minutes on 350 degrees. After 40 minutes, there we are, folks. There's our baked bean, hot dog, cheese, and bacon casserole. Serve this with your favorite bread on the side with some butter. Oh man, it is absolutely delicious. And it's so easy and fast to do. So anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching the OceanState Cuisine. Feel free to sub up for more great, delicious videos coming your way. And then comment down below, because as always, we love to hear from you. And until the next time, you guys have yourself a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.